Agent in need of backup. Incoming hostiles detected.
Bring light to the darkness!
Detecting additional hostile contacts. Incoming hostiles detected. Detecting additional hostile contacts.
Follow my lead.
I've got him in my sight.
Hi guys, here's a build I want to show you that I used to level up on the season pass. I pretty much finished the whole season in a few hours in one day. I'm using this method and this build. So what you want to do is you want to put 5 directives or 4 directives on, and you just want to keep hitting those resource convoys on the map. So resource convoys are these things here, and they give you a lot of XP. You can see the where they're going to, so you can kind of intercept them right before they get into a control point. So that one's going into that control point. Okay, so let me take you through the build. All right, so on this build we are going to be running the Douglas and Harding named mask, punch drunk. So that gives you 20% pistol damage, and what's so special about this is that it gives you 20% headshot damage. Okay, so on here I have headshot damage, weapon handling with the headshot damage gear mod. On the backpack, I have the gift backpack, which is the named Providence Defense backpack. So having one piece gives you 15% headshot. On here, I have weapon handling, headshot, and a headshot damage gear mod. And the talent is called Perfect Vigilance. So increases total weapon damage by 25%. Taking damage disables this buff for 3 seconds. You don't have to have the perfect version on. The normal one is disables the buff for 4 seconds. So there's only a 1 second difference. For the chest piece, I'm running the named Chain Killer chest piece, which is the Walker Harris chest piece. So that gives you 5% weapon damage, and I have the same stats rolled onto here. Weapon handling, headshot with a headshot damage gear mod, and I have Perfect Headhunter. So this is where a lot of your DPS is coming from. So after killing an enemy with a headshot, your next weapon hit within 30 seconds deals an additional 150% of that killing blow's damage. Damage is capped to 800% of your weapon damage. This is raised to 1250% if your headshot damage is greater than 150%. Okay, for the gloves, I'm running the Contractor's gloves, the named Petrov's gloves. And what's special about this is that it gives you damage to armor. And on here, I have headshot rolled onto there. For the knee pads, I have the Overlord Ornament named knee pads called Fox's Prayers. So on here, what's so special about this again, as you can see, it has damage target of cover, and I have headshot rolled onto there. For the last piece, I'm using the Dodge City Gunslinger holster. Okay, so this you can get a lot of DPS for your pistol. So this talent is called Quick Draw. So while your pistol is holstered, gain a stacking buff every 0.3 seconds up to 100. When you swap to it, your first shot consumes the buff and deals 10% damage per stack. This deals headshot damage to anywhere you hit. So this is really powerful. Okay, so as you can see, I'm running the Regulus on here. So this is a raid exclusive pistol. You have to do the Iron Horse raid. You have to pick up a few pieces. It's actually a project. Okay, but it is worth doing. I don't think this drops in the Dark Zone. This is not one of the raid exclusives that drops in the Dark Zone. I'm not entirely sure, but correct me if I'm wrong. And the talent on here is called Regicide. So headshot kills create a 5-meter explosion, dealing 400% weapon damage and applying bleed to all enemies hit. So we are going to be using this gun for a majority of the time. Okay, for the rest of my guns, I'm using the military M870 shotgun. I have damage target of cover there, and the talent is called Pummel. 3 consecutive kills refills the magazine and grants 40% weapon damage for 10 seconds. For my other gun, it is the O'Carroll. You can use whatever gun you want on here, whatever marksman rifle you want. I'd recommend the White Death. I think is that what it's called, the White Death marksman rifle. Just take a look. It's definitely in my stash. I don't want to get the name wrong. There we go. The White Death. So that's one you can use. I'm just using the O'Carroll just for the fun of it because it has a funny talent. Okay, but you can use whatever you want on there. You don't have to use the same guns as I am, but I'd highly recommend using a shotgun with pommel and a marksman rifle here. For my skills, I'm running the Crusader Shield, Bulwark Shield. Sorry, the Bulwark Shield, not Crusader Shield. And I'm running a Reviver Hive just in case I get dropped. And my specialization is the Sharpshooter specialization. Okay, because it gives you 15% increased headshot damage with rifles. Marksman rifles allows precision aim. Okay, precision aim. And I've got 15 increased weapon stability. So that goes towards the pistol. And this allows us to hit the headshots. Okay, so for my headshot damage on my stats. Okay, so I have 180 headshot damage on the shotgun. On the O'Carroll, I have 322 headshot damage. And on the Regulus, I have 245% headshot damage. Okay, so let me show you in the shooting range on what this looks like. So what you want to do is when you're running to a resource convoy, you want to make sure you build up your stacks. Okay, just so then you can one-shot an elite when you need to. So I'm gonna keep this at very hard. I'm just gonna let that stack up. So these are all elites, okay? So this should one-shot an elite, then afterwards I can build up my stacks with Headhunter. Okay, so this just takes a little bit of time. Okay, just gonna let that build up. Okay, and I think that's high enough. Okay, so here we go. See, it literally took out everyone around them. Headshot. 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 It's pretty strong build. So what you want to do is if you don't have it fully procced, the gunslinger holster, okay, what you could do is, so I'm gonna wait for my talent to go. So I'm gonna just change my chest piece quickly. Okay, so what you want to do, if you don't have it fully procced, okay, the best thing for you to do is probably go for a red. Let's see, where's our red here? Because there's enough DPS on here. And then there, you can continuously stack afterwards. Okay, so that's pretty much the build, guys. It's a fun build to use. Okay, so with this build, if you need to have good aim in order to get the best out of this build. And I would say I have pretty good aim, so I'm able to hit a lot of my headshots and finish resources quickly. But for newbies or like people that don't have really good aim, you are better off probably using another build. But it's good practice, you know. You'll improve, your aim will get better the more you use the build and practice doing your headshots. So yeah, so this is pretty much the build, guys. Okay, so yep. And also lastly, I just wanted to let you know, regarding the Regulus, I understand people don't like doing like group stuff or getting into raids. You might be a bit too shy, or you know, like you don't want to join a group. But honestly, I was the same, because I'd get a little bit, you know, insecure and like shy joining a massive group of people that know what they're doing, even though I know I'm a good player. But the best thing to do is go on the internet, go on Discord, and just like search for groups that carry people throughout the raid. And honestly, when I did it the first time, I was nervous, but honestly, they're all really nice. The people that help people get their raid exotics are honestly very nice. They'll add you to the Discord, and you can sign up for a raid when they do a raid. It's always scheduled. And yeah, after you've done it a few times, you'll be like, oh, why was I so worried? And you know, it's actually worth doing. It's probably better than trying to get it in the DZ, because I've noticed that the drop rate is so low. You're probably gonna waste a lot of time when you can just join into a raid, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you will get it from the box, but if one of the group members gets it from the box, they will drop it for you 100% of the time. And they're all very kind people. Honestly, every group I've joined, they're all really nice. They do understand that like you've never done the raid. Just be honest, just say you've never done the raid and I want to get the exotics, and yeah, they'll help you. They'll drop it for you, because I'm sure all of them have probably done it how many times a day, probably done like thousands of raids and carrying people throughout the raids. But you just need to make sure you have a decent build for the raid. I'm sure there's a lot on YouTube. Just put raid builds, and that's the only requirement for you, is to actually have a raid build. But anyways, guys, take it easy and good luck getting your raid exclusive exotics. Peace.